Hi everyone, we are back with another session in today's product and concept testing tech showcase. I'm here with Highlight, but before I pass it on over to our speakers, I just want to remind you all to put any questions that you have in that Q&A box, and we will be sure to get to them at the end. So now I will hand it on over to our speakers.
Thanks so much, Bridget. Thanks for having us here, and welcome to everyone who's watching the session. We are Highlight. We are changing the physical product innovation game, and we're super thankful for Green Book having us here. You may know us from some of the other Green Book events. We run 2022 Startup of the Year at IEX. We are a top 50 innovative supplier, and also on 2 other Grit Report lists. And we're a women-owned and minority-owned startup in the physical product testing space. My name is Ethan. I'm co-founder, Chief Product Technology Officer at Highlight, which is just a really fancy way of saying that I'm the person who tells the people what software to build. I'm joined here by Keshia, a VP of Customer Success, who's going to give her a little intro as well.
Hello, everyone. I'm Keshia Peris, VP of Customer Success here at Highlight. I have over 12 years of experience in insights and CS. I oversee a team at Highlight that manages customer onboarding and support, community engagement, and research ops and logistics. And so excited to present to you all today at our second tech showcase.
Awesome. Thanks, Keshia. So what we'll cover in the next 30 minutes, we're going to talk about our story. What was the genesis of Highlight? What's the problem that we solved? Our solution, talk a little bit about what Highlight is, what the platform is. We'll show you that platform through a product demo. And then Keshia's going to walk through some of the impact that we've been able to have with our customers. And we'll leave some time at the end for Q&A from the crowd. So most of us probably already know this statistic. 30,000 products are launched every year and 90% of them fail. And we really know that right now is a critical moment for consumer products in particular. There's a lot of things going on in the industry that are making it really difficult for physical product developers and researchers and marketers to be able to succeed in an increasingly cutthroat sort of industry. We know that consumer expectations are skyrocketing. We've got a lot more competition and in the consumer packaged goods space. There's competition from private label brands or new entrants coming in. We have a lot of sort of consumer data is becoming really, really important. And of course, in this economic time, cost reduction pressure is all more prevalent in most of our jobs. It's also the pace of innovation is accelerating. And as physical product developers, we're being expected to come up with new and increasingly innovative ideas on faster and faster timelines. So all of these things are, leading to a very difficult and challenging space for physical product developers and researchers right now as our industry continues to evolve. But unfortunately, the tooling that physical product researchers and developers and marketers have is often stuck sort of in the 80s. Any of us who've done physical product research before know it's a really slow process. It could take a really long time to get data. And that affects your ability to make fast decisions, especially, in this world where we're being pressured to become more agile and more customer centric. It's expensive. Of course, it costs a lot to get a product test done. And really, when you want to have that confidence before a new product launch or before a product change, you've got to balance the cost with the confidence that you want to have. The process of product testing, we know, is unscalable. Anyone who's complicated and challenging it can be to get your products to consumers to test them. And it's unnatural. The research really can sometimes feel like research. When we do, when we talk about central location tests, we have some challenges associated with the fact that those are in sterile, simulated environments. So Highlight is the first and only vertically integrated physical product research platform. What does that really mean? We've taken sort of the fragmented, painful experience of running an in-home usage test, where it might take hundreds of emails and many, many weeks to be able to string together all of the things that have to happen to run a product test. And we built a software platform that does all of that for you. This, of course, is valuable both to corporate researchers who are doing research in-house, as well as agencies who are typically managing this process manually as well. And so the software that we've built really takes a lot of the headache and challenges and slowness out of physical product research. So as a researcher, you can really focus on making smart decisions with your product and ensuring that your product's going to be successful when it goes to market. How we really do that is through our flexible, agile product testing platform that sort of brings together three different things. The first is the streamline technology. So all of the automations and tech and software that runs in the background that is able to make the in-home usage test process as seamless as possible. The experience for you as a user or as someone who's running research on Highlight is turnkey and centralized, and I'll show that a little bit later in the product demo. It also centralizes all that data for your whole team. So, whereas you might have experience in the past doing research and having your data spread across different Excel files or different drives or inboxes, everything is visible in the Highlight platform for you and your whole team to see as the research progresses and as the data starts to flow in. We have a engaged and diverse community. So we've built our own consumer panel. I'll talk a little bit about that. That's specifically for product testing and research. And some of the great things that come from that is that we have 90% completion rates. So if we send out 100 products, we expect 90% of those people we send those products to complete their surveys. And that really comes from building our community. And the community can be deeply targeted for all sorts of demographic and psychographic information. And the consumers that we've selected for the community are screened for quality and articulation to make sure that they're gonna make the most use of every single data point in your in-home usage test. If you're spending a lot of money and spending a lot of energy towards wanting to validate your product launch, you want to make sure that every single data point that you get is going to be useful and doesn't have to get thrown away. And the last thing, that really brings Highlight together in this flexible, agile product testing platform is that we handle all of the product distribution and the logistics. So if it's frozen or refrigerated or blinded, if you have to repack the product into little Ziploc baggies, you got to get your product returned back to the warehouse for validation or because it's a confidential product. All of that gets handled directly by the Highlight platform and is dealt with by the software on the back end. And of course, like I said, you can see that progress live in the dashboard. We use the Highlight platform for our customers for really the whole product life cycle. So everything through from early ideation and need identification. We do types of studies, benchmark builder studies, where we'll send out competitive product and use that as stimulus for need identification or exploring white space, all the way through to, of course, prototyping, where you have a prototype that you want to get in consumers' hands to get feedback, validation and claims testing and efficacy testing with the prototype, and then post-launch, products that are already in market, being able to benchmark your products against competitors as it relates to consumers actually receiving your product and trying them, collecting reviews or user-generated content about your products for marketing. Formula refinement, messaging and claim refinement, all of those optimization things that we do as researchers and as product developers once products are in market, being able to continually optimize and improve the product over time, or reduce cost, particularly important for a lot of our customers right now. And then line and brand expansion and category expansion. In-home usage tests are becoming increasingly used for gathering data and insights about line and brand extension. Talk a little bit about our proprietary tester community, and want to dig a little bit deeper into just the group of people that we have testing. We call them our highlighters. We, source them organically through word of mouth, through community. And like I said, we have a 90% response rate. You might be used to, 50 or 60% of the product you send out getting surveys back. But at Highlight, we're proud to boast, best in class response rates of 90%. Once we source those community members, we screen them. And really it's based on, their interest in helping make your product better. So the incentive system at Highlight is a little bit different and targeted around, this joint mission of making products better. We see that reflected in our open-ended responses as a really good indicator of response quality. We have on average 20 words in an open-ended response versus sort of 3 to 4 gibberish, kind of 3 to 4 words or gibberish responses. And then we can hyper-target our consumers, and I'll show you a little bit more about that once we get into the demo. But we can get as low as audiences that have less than 1% incidence to be able to really reach the consumers that you're looking for. And while we're relatively new, we've only been around for a couple of years. Like you saw on the first slide, we won Startup of the Year at IEX a couple of years ago. We are working already with the best of the best, and you'll hear more from Keshia about some of the case studies with some of these brands. But we are, working with many of the top consumer packaged goods companies to be able to make their products better. And in a second, you'll see the Highlight platform demo and sort of understand why. So I'm going to swap over quickly to the platform and show you what Highlight looks like. So I'm here right now in the Highlight platform. I'm in a demo environment that's got some demo projects to sort of show you how the whole platform looks. But this is, I'll jump into sort of one project that hasn't been started here. And I have set it up and prepared it for you. So we don't have to, we don't have to watch me click around and type a bunch of stuff in. But in this project for mascara, we're doing a sequential monadic study with two different mascaras. And in the portal, I talked about consumer targeting. So you can build an audience that allows you to target the demographic criteria that you care about. So in this case, we're looking for a 50-50 split of age demographics between 18 and 39 and 40 and 60. We're looking for 100% female, and we're looking for a specific mix of ethnicities. We can also come in and add any of our 29 points of consumer targeting. So we can look at what types of stores people shop at, or their purchasing or buying preferences, or sort of any of the standard demographic data. And then you can also add, additional screening questions. So what if there's really specific information you want about your consumer, you can add those questions in here. You then go and add your products. So you give us the information about the mascara and about sort of some of its characteristics. That allows us to be able to do all of the logistics on the back end for you. And then you add your surveys and questionnaires in here. And then what we do is we basically build the project out for you, and you can come in and build this project out. And so in this case, we're looking at 2 different groups of people, and they're doing 2 different things. Sort of it's a time block, or it's a rotation-based study, because we're doing a sequential monadic. And so here we've got an example where you're using the first mascara, you're taking a survey, you're going to wait 3 days, you're going to use the second mascara, you're going to take a survey, and then for that you'll receive an extra incentive. You have 14 days to do that entire process. You'll notice in the second cell here, the opposite rotation is used. So we're using the 201 mascara first and the 101 mascara second. Of course, you can also see, there's a timeline here, a projected timeline for the project that shows you how the project is progressing as we continue to execute on it. And then all the information about procurement, the products that are arriving at the warehouse, and recruiting and processing, and the results are sort of shown live. And I'll jump over to a project that's completed to show you what the results look like. So all of our results come with a live data dashboard. which includes all of your survey questions plotted out on graphs and charts. So you can start to see this data come in live. The moment the first response comes in, you can be able to see this data and start to be able to draw inferences based off of the initial data responses before having to wait for the entire complete data set. Of course, when the project is over, you get the full data set to be able to do your own deeper analysis on. But we're showing you the initial data right off the bat. So that's a quick platform demo. I wish we had more time. I'd love to get a little bit deeper into it and show you more. But of course, you know where to find Keshia and I if you want to get more visibility. I'm going to hand it off to Keshia to talk a little bit about the impact that we've been able to have using Highlight with some of our customers.
Great. Thanks, Ethan, for taking us through the software that powers our success. To recap, our platform delivers on 4 key differentiators: turnkey workflow management, and really what that is end-to-end management of this logistically heavy research methodology. We have our engaged tester community of those who are not only vetted, but truly onboarded by my team to be experts in testing product in-home. As you can imagine, something's coming to your house, you got to look out for that package, you got to take a survey. There are some specific instructions there, which can make it more complex, but in my opinion, more fun than an online survey and more tangible, actionable results to the team. Integrated logistics, again, we have all of that in the platform, and we have a very awesome warehouse team that can pick, pack, and ship hundreds of products per day. And then our live data dashboards for real-time insight development that Ethan had just showed. This really allows you to start crafting that insight story you'll share with key stakeholders at least a week earlier than your average study. Putting all of these benefits together, we find our offering saves clients 50% in costs, 63% in time, while achieving high quality results of 90% completion rate and close to no back-end data cleaning. Being a CS leader, I know proof is in the pudding, so let's talk through a couple of case studies so you can see our work in action. This one is from our friends at Church & Dwight. Their white space innovation marketing team uses their Highlight subscription to gather consumer insights and testimonials for products they are about to release. So our ability to target niche audiences in a matter of days makes Highlight a really great fit for their use case. And we did just that in testing their new VitaFusion smoothies that were meant for kids. On the next slide, you'll see a little bit more of our details as well as some of the data that came through. We sent product in-home and gathered testimonials, including photo and written review, that the Church & Dwight team could use for their direct-to-consumer website launch. As you can imagine, we got the most adorable and insightful feedback from kids and parents, and we did it at scale. We delivered 200 photos and videos to the team to choose from, covering topics like taste, texture, key benefits, and reactions to purchase intent. We really love this example because sending product in-home gave the Church & Dwight team tangible, specific, and usable product feedback, far more granular than a generic feedback that they would have gotten using a concept test, for example. So really showing the power of physical product in hand. This next one here, we at Highlight are proud of our longstanding relationship with the Snack Futures team at Mondelez. In fact, we're working with their collab team right now for the 3rd year in a row to provide their current round of startups with sensory insights that can help their team, help those startups learn, grow, and succeed. And I will say our Highlighters absolutely love testing products that come out of the Snack Futures team. Who doesn't love a snack that tastes great and is kind to the planet? This case study specifically speaks to a new sustainable product that would be the first of its kind. And the team wanted to gather insight as early as possible in the product development lifecycle to understand formulation and messaging of a leading edge ingredient mix and the way that those ingredients were sourced. We worked very closely with our insights partner and the R&D team at Snack Futures, who were in the lab making formula tweaks based on our insight. And at the end, we were able to deliver insight in 10 days And that insight included recipe enhancements and provided the Mondelez team with those open questions consumers had about how the product was going to be positioned. Again, leading edge ingredients and sourcing, so some clear opportunities to improve that messaging to ensure product in hand matched the actual information on pack. So a mix of qual and quant was really crucial here, so the team could see consumers live taste test the samples and provide those unfiltered facial expressions, oohs, ahs, and more. So with those two, I hope that gives you a taste of what Highlight can do. Ethan and I would love to address any questions from the audience.
Thank you both so much. We do have a few questions. And if you have any other questions that you haven't asked yet, make sure to drop that in the Q&A box, and we'll be sure to get to it. So first off, what type of products can Highlight test?
I can take that one. We're in all categories: food and beverage, personal care, alcohol is also a category, apparel, footwear, pet and baby. In all of those categories, we have tons of use cases that we can provide should anyone want to know specifically about any of those methodologies. And I'll say, in addition to those different categories, we had briefly touched on this, but we can even ship refrigerated and frozen product. And again, our warehouse team can repack and blind product you'd like to test in that manner.
It's so great to see the numerous amount of categories that you all cover. What are your community targeting capabilities?
Great question. As Ethan has showed in the platform demo, we asked 29 profiling questions when joining the community. So that's data we have on hand on all of our highlighters. Custom screeners are then applied on top of that data we already have to recruit for a given product test. So this allows us to get super targeted and efficient with our recruiting. So if you're looking to test with a niche audience or one of 1% incidence rate, we can definitely do that. We offer advanced recruiting that can take anywhere from 2 days to a week, really depending on how niche that audience is. We also have the ability to use your internal database. So if you have a VIP group or a list you'd like us to use, we can go through that pathway as well. I'll also add that because we own our highlighter panel, we have the ability to re-engage previous participants for your next study. So this allows for a ton of possibilities. It could be a follow-on survey after reviewing your initial data, or getting the same participants to test the next iteration of your product. So that allows us to ensure that feedback loop continues on.
Awesome. And then I have one more question here for you. How are you able to keep the timeline so short?
Yeah, great question. Like Keshia talked about, for the Mondelez collab team, we were able to deliver insights in 10 days, which is really, really quick, especially for anyone who's used to doing in-home usage tests, sort of the old manual way. And it really comes down to the software and the automation that we've built. By investing in the Highlight platform and the Highlight technology, we've been able to cut that time, like Keshia said, by 63%. And we're continuing to make it faster and better every day as our software and engineering teams continue to build more software that makes Highlight faster and better. So yeah, it all comes down to the fact that Highlight is a tech-enabled platform and is really the only way to be able to get that quality product testing data on those impossibly fast, difficult, challenging timelines.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Keshia and Ethan. It's been great to have Highlight as part of this tech showcase. And thank you to all of our attendees for tuning in. We do have one more session left in today's product and concept testing showcase, so we will see you over there.
Thank you.
Thank you all.